my son's play really took a turn for the better when he hit that 2-year mark, and now that he's 2.5, I can just see such a change in the way that he's playing, what he's choosing to play with, and overall it just seems that his play has taken on a much deeper meaning. It just seems to be so much more important for him, and therefore for me. On the other hand, my 1-year-old is still throwing everything, putting everything she can into her mouth, so we are not going to be talking about that age group today. Today's video is all about this 2 to 3-year-old age group. Okay, that's enough rambling from me. Let's get straight into the video. So the first category of toys, which I think all children love, but I found that at the 2-year mark my son just got really interested in building. So the first category is building toys. Building toys have been around for generations, and I think that is for a reason. It's simply because toddlers especially love to just make things. Now, there are so many different building toys you could have. We have a few that work for us, but the types of things I'm talking about are wooden blocks, magnet tiles, which we actually love these. Lego, at this stage maybe like mega blocks, the really big fat chunky ones. Any sort of toy that your child can use to build things, whether it's just simply building towers or, as my son likes to build, car parks. In our house, magnet tiles are hands down the most favorite. We use them every single day, all day. I love building toys for many reasons. There are so many benefits to them. They are learning about spatial awareness, problem solving. It's kind of like engineering if you think about it. I like toys that can be played with other toys, so not standalone toys. So rather than just getting one battery operated flashy toy that can only be played with like that, open-ended and loose toys like magnet tiles, Lego, wooden blocks can be used alongside your other toys. I would say if you don't have any sort of building toys at the moment, just buy one type, either wooden block or something like magnet tiles, and see how your child gets on with that. You can play with them in different ways every single time, which is so great for their creativity, and especially if they have specific interests. Building blocks and building toys can really help them to zone in on those interests and get fully immersed. When we came back from holiday, he wanted to make an airport, and it was obviously because we had just been through an airport, we'd been on a plane, and that was his real life experience that he wanted to bring into his play. Building blocks should be a foundation in your playroom. So the next category of toys works really well with the building toys. I'm just going to call it pretend play. So for this category, it's basically miniature version of real life things. Your child can explore real things in a safe way and also bring in their life experiences into their play. For example, things like baby dolls, vehicles, small wild animals. If your child's like really into farm animals, they're not going to be able to just have access to a cow every single day, unless of course you live on a farm. If you have sets of miniature animals, they can bring that into their play. We use our animals to learn about habitats, different types of animals. We have so many books that are based on animals, so the toys kind of go alongside those really well. We live in Dubai, so there's construction work going on all the time, so he gets to see diggers and construction vehicles, and he's fascinated by that. We have little sets of construction vehicles. If we've been on the road and he's seen something interesting, I will see him act that out in his play, and it's just amazing to me that they can bring in their real world experiences into their play. If you find that your child has a really strong interest in a particular type, so whether it's dolls, or whether it's vehicles, or whether it's animals, you can then, maybe after a few months of observing this interest, you can see that it's not going away, you can look into buying accessories to go with it. So for example, if it is dolls, you could look into buying a doll's house. For my son, it's with the vehicles. We have train tracks for his trains, we have a road for his other cars and vehicles. I didn't just go out and buy all of this straight away. I watch my child, I see what he's interested in, and then I buy the next layer, you could say, of toys accordingly. It just means that I'm not buying things all the time, and it means that I'm allowing him to expand on his interests, expand on his play in a cost-effective and meaningful way. So our toys just get played with so much more because they go well together, and they are so open-ended that the world is literally his oyster. Okay, so this next category is, I don't know, I find it a little bit cliche and a little bit controversial actually, because not everyone has access to these things and not everyone has the budget for them. So I'm talking about loose parts and open-ended play. It's very, very trendy right now, especially in this whole Montessori, Waldorf community, Instagram community mainly, because these toys are not actually Montessori. They're toys by like Grimm's and Grappat, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but loose open-ended toys. So if you're browsing on Instagram, it won't take you long to find beautiful, aesthetically pleasing playroom filled with things like this. This is not an actual Grimm's one, the wooden rainbow stacker, or something like this, which is actually Grimm's. This is Grimm's house stacker. Toys like this. I don't think you need to go out and spend a lot of money on these sorts of toys unless you can see that your child is really into something and they are ready for the next layer or next extension. So if they're really into the dolls and small world play, and you can see that they would really benefit from having houses and it would just take that play to another level, then you should definitely go ahead and buy these, because they are great if your child can find a use for them, which is the whole purpose. I guess the whole purpose of open-ended and loose toys is that your child needs to find the purpose for them. It's them using their brains. These are very, very much active toys, not passive toys. So all of the toy recommendations here come down to you watching your child and then selecting and choosing what you think could work. I bought my son a rainbow tunnel about a year ago, and it's been played with fairly often, mainly alongside his vehicle play. So he will use these as bridges, tunnels. The Grimm's houses he got for Christmas, and I can say that these have been used almost every single day. We've had them out on our rotation. He uses them to house little peg dolls. He uses them part of his small world play with his train tracks and his magnet tiles. Everything kind of gets used together, which is what I love to see, because then I feel like, yes, parenting win, I bought the right toys for him. Also, loose parts we like to play with in our sensory bin. We have been using them for some really early maths and counting activities, shape recognition activities. The next category are puzzles. Puzzles have been very much loved in our playroom for a very long time, actually. He's not yet into jigsaw puzzles. He's still very much into his knob puzzles or his wooden chunky puzzles. And while they can be slightly limiting, because once your child has mastered them, they probably won't be touched for a while, but they are really good to expand on current interests. I also use puzzles to introduce new concepts like shapes or animals or whatever it is. Any sort of pegging toy, really. So whether it's like the cylinder blocks or toys that they can put in and out, those kind of toys I find that this age group are still really, really popular. The next category of toys is really like the arts and crafts section, and within this I'm going to include Play-Doh. I think 2-year-olds are really coming into their own creatively. They are really starting to want to express things. Art is one of the easiest ways for them to do this. Play-Doh is so loved right now by my son. It took a while for us to get there. I had to set up a lot of play invitations for him to start to get excited about Play-Doh. But I can definitely say that we're fully in Play-Doh loving world right now, and I'm really enjoying it too. We like to do this together. I find that Play-Doh is a very nice bonding family activity. When we are playing with Play-Doh, we're also talking a lot. So we'll be talking about let's roll, let's press, let's cut, the different shapes. It's a really, really great opportunity to talk to your child, to introduce new language, and just to have some fun together. We went to London this Christmas one afternoon. It was a bit suspiciously quiet. You know, when it's like one of those, oh my god, what's going on? This is too quiet for a toddler. And I actually found my son and his grandma sitting on the sofa making Play-Doh pizzas. It was such a great bonding experience for them, and it was just so nice for us to watch, and he just loved it. Another great thing about Play-Doh is that it really develops strength in their fingers and hands. My son is still enjoying just plain white pieces of paper, different types of pens, markers, chalk, paint when I'm bothered to clean up, and just general mark making. And to him it means something. Like, he will come up to me with squiggles and tell me that it's a bus, which is really nice. The next category of toys, you could say, fall into the gross motor skill development, and we often find that when we've sort of filled the gross motor cup, he's a lot calmer and he's more interested in playing with his other toys. At 2 years old, gross motor skills are such a popular interest for kids, and it's a very natural inclination for them. You know, quite often we'll find that we have weeks where my son is not interested in playing on his play mat with his toys at all, and instead he just wants to be climbing, pushing, running, and that kind of stuff. So for this, I have a few different ideas. You could technically just get away with not having any of these toys. All you need is access to the outdoors. 2-year-olds need to move. They need to build their muscles and their strength, they need to have, some sort of risky play opportunities, whether it's just in the playground, climbing up things. We have a pickler triangle, which is another very, very popular playroom accessory. He loves to climb up it, slide down. He loves to practice different skills on it. He uses it with his toys as well. He likes to push them down the slide and other things. It took him a while to develop the confidence to be able to climb over, and I remember the day when he did. The sense of accomplishment that he had was just, it was just the cutest thing for me to see. He was so proud of himself, and then he wanted to repeat it. The pickler triangle is also great because it can be used as a tunnel, so my little one likes to use it like that, and so does my 2-year-old. We've put blankets over it and used it to make a little fort. Another growth motor, or you could say, is any sort of bike or scooter. My son has a scooter, and I'm looking to buy him a balance bike for his 3rd birthday. He is working really hard to be able to use it independently. That's one of the things that I love the most about gross motor skill toys. You can see your child's skills developing every single time they use it. So my son started off with having both feet on the scooter and then needing an adult to physically push him around. He's kind of learned how to use one foot to sort of push himself off, and now he's working on the balancing part of putting his foot back on and balancing, and it's literally lasting a couple of seconds right now, but I can literally see him wanting to make it work. It just makes me feel really proud, and I can see him feeling really proud of himself and having that sense of accomplishment. Some other really popular gross motor skill toys are the wobble board, or there are balance beams, or you can get these like rubber mats from Amazon. I can't remember the actual name for them. I'll have it listed here somewhere and also in the description box below, where you just place them out and the kids are just practicing, jumping from one to the other. Another popular thing is also the play couch, which they can use to like tumble around with and jump over. But this is a really important but. If you do not have the space for any of these things or the budget for any of these things, just get your 2-year-old outside. That is the best thing for them. I read an article actually recently that was saying how more and more children these days have never walked on unsteady grounds, or have never experienced grass under their feet, or have not had the chance to have risky play, climb rocks or climb things. And it just made me think, wow, like these are really simple, free things that every single child would love. And you'll probably find that your toddler will be happier if they're getting enough outdoor time and just space and time to move. I would absolutely love to know, genuinely love to know, what your 2 or 3-year-old is currently playing with, or what are some must-haves for your playroom. Please leave me a comment in the comment section below. I hope you found this useful in some way. I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe. I am gonna go get ready to collect my son from nursery now, so I will be seeing you in my next video. Bye!